There's a good chance that if you're a fan of this channel, you're old enough to remember the Disney Renaissance. This was a period from approximately 1989 to 1999 when Disney was churning out some absolute bangers. Little Mermaid, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, top tier content. But in my opinion, the absolute apex flick of that era is Aladdin, no question about it. Sweet Jesus, that Cave of Wonders escape scene was awesome. Everyone loved it, and Disney was making bank, and like any company that liked money, they knew the value of putting a tie-in video game out on the market. However, here's when things can get a little bit dicey, because movie tie-in games had something of a terrible track record. Often they were churned out on a tight deadline to hit the shelves at the same time that the movie hit theaters. This produced some notoriously awful games. But Disney seemed to actually care about the quality, to such a degree that they got Capcom to develop a few of their games. And Capcom was on a bit of a spree themselves at the time. And peak Disney working with peak Capcom? Good shit was inevitable. So it was no surprise that Capcom got granted a license to make an Aladdin game for the Super Nintendo, and well, here it is, Disney's Aladdin for the Super Nintendo. Released in 1993, a full year after the movie, it's clear that some TLC was put into this game because they wanted to get it right. But you want to know something weird? Disney was a bit of a philanderer with the Aladdin license, and there were actually 3 different Aladdin games made by 3 different developers and spread out over a bunch of different systems. Yeah, they could have easily made one version and ported the heck out of it, but Disney instead said okay to 3 different versions all made from scratch. Why? I do not know, but we are looking at the Capcom Super Nintendo version, so let's not get it confused with any other versions, no matter how sexy they look. Hey, stay focused. Let's start with the design. Now, in my opinion, when you have a movie that people love, the goal of the corresponding video game, aside from being good, should be to encapsulate the feel of the movie. In this regard, Aladdin nails it. The story is straight from the movie and told via some nice-looking cutscenes in between levels, and it's done well enough that you can follow what's going on even without having seen the movie it's based on. Although there are a few moments where the context isn't provided and you'd be a little confused. Like, it's never explained that Aladdin can't touch anything other than the lamp in the Cave of Wonders, so you would be a bit confused how Abu touching this ruby makes the whole cave fall apart. Small oversight. The way they make the levels in this game align with the narrative arc of the movie is well done. The whole first scene in the market where Aladdin's jumping around dodging guards might as well already be a video game, so that was an easy translation. It even ends with a boss fight with the guy who tried to cut Jasmine's hand off. The Cave of Wonders is a natural second level in the sense that so many games already have a cave level as their second level. Of course, some liberties are taken, such as with these floating rafts, but dropping down into the piles of treasure was a nice addition, even though Aladdin is technically touching the treasure with his bare feet, but whatever. Level 3 is the Cave of Wonders after the shit hits the fan, which adds enough variety while still aligning with the movie narrative. It culminates in the epic magic carpet escape, which should have been way longer and more dramatic in my opinion. Now, we need to pause a moment because it's important to acknowledge that your average 90-minute movie probably has 2 to 3 video gameable levels max. There's gonna have to be some content added to pad the game's playtime, and we get the first of that when we meet the genie and he invites Aladdin into the lamp. Now, okay, I'll give you a moment to soak this up. Pretty audacious to drop this malarkey into the storyline, but hear me out for a minute. The genie is such a massive and memorable part of the movie, to such a degree that leaving him only relegated to cutscenes would have been insane. In the movie, he sings Friend Like Me, and while maybe they could have made a level out of column A and column B and all that baklava, there wasn't much that could be done with that, so by setting the level inside the lamp, we get potent genie wackiness that makes for a fun level without deviating from the plot too egregiously. Are you bought in yet? Look guys, Aladdin blindly agreeing to go into a strange man's home could have gone way worse. Unfortunately, the next level is some next level padding that's pretty hard to justify. See, Abu falls off the magic carpet and wanders into a pyramid. Yeah, that's it. Just an excuse for a pyramid level. Alright, come on. Dude, stop dicking around, we gotta go! Now, when it comes to iconic moments from the movie, the magic carpet ride is a big one, and they included it quite nicely here by making it a bonus level. That's followed by Aladdin being found out and banished to the ends of the earth, which I personally think would have made for an amazing level. A snow stage would have added some variety, and it certainly makes more narrative sense than the little pyramid tangent, but instead he comes back on the carpet and we start the last level, which is in the palace. You fight your way through to go confront Jafar, who was the last boss. When you beat him, the game wraps up like the movie did, and we even get to see the genie wearing his goofy hat. Now, if you're thinking, geez, that doesn't seem like a long game, then you're right, it's not. It's a very short game. You could probably beat it in an hour, but if for whatever reason that is too much time, you could take note of the password after each level. There also aren't any bosses. I mean, there's Merchant Guy and Jafar, but that's it. Remember in the movie when the genie was huge and mean looking when he was working for Jafar? Why couldn't they make that a boss fight? We get a few more things thrown in, like this break time with a spinning wheel, but overall the design of this game is pretty simple. Had it not been so expertly modeled around the Aladdin film, it would be bland and forgettable. Playing this game is the experience you would expect, if not maybe just a little bit better. I'll put the controls on the screen here for you so I don't have to read out what each button does, but this shouldn't blow any minds. And if this arrangement doesn't blow your skirt up, you can always change it. Aladdin's movement is mostly good, and he's able to grab onto ledges as well as swing on certain objects and even springboard off of things. The swinging and springboarding can take out enemies too, which feels satisfying. This movement tech isn't overly complex, but coupled with the jumping and gliding, it can make for some fun little parkour moments. I do have a gripe I want to get to though, and it's something that I see far too often in platformers, and that's the dreaded slippery floor. See, when Aladdin is running, slowing down and eventually stopping takes a few frames of animation, which in turn takes a few extra milliseconds, which in turn will have you not exactly stopping on a dime. This little extra runway time has been known to straight up send me into a pit, which is annoying. You have to get used to not touching any unnecessary buttons when you're trying to land a tricky jump on a small platform, lest you skid and slide all over the place. You can get used to it, but you will feel kind of clumsy and terrible for most of your first playthrough. But everything else here is fine. I mean, throwing apples is alright, even if they are useless against certain enemies. The final boss fight against Jafar comes in two forms. Both forms have patterns with enough variety to make things skill-based. Yeah, I mean, I really don't know what else to say about the gameplay, so let's do graphics. So, this game looks pretty good, and the Disney license is well utilized to make characters and animations that resemble their movie counterparts. Aladdin looks good and moves great with plenty of animation frames to ensure things are smooth. Even his ducking seems unusually crisp. I love how Abu follows him around throughout the level as well. He does absolutely nothing useful, but having him around at all times does add some extra character. And then there's the genie, who's on full display in this level here. The genie head platforms and genie cubes and waggly genie tongues and the genie himself floating in to make clouds appear. Tons and tons of character, and that character is Genie. Special mention to this reaction he has when you fall in the pit. Like, dude, how about you give me some better platforms? The smaller things are all worth mentioning as well. The bread health item being the exact same bread in the movie is a nice touch. And the magic carpet here has such a sassy walk. Shifting to the levels themselves, you know Capcom is not going to disappoint. Everything in the foreground and background has that extra level of Capcom polish with good color palettes, parallax scrolling, and nothing coming off as garish or overwhelming. The whole New World level in particular looks amazing as you swoop up from the clouds to down and around the buildings, and they really made the last battle with Snake Jafar epic, even if it does cause a whole mess of slowdown. Now, before anyone lights up the comments section talking about the Sega Genesis version, I will acknowledge that yes, that version looks the best, and that's because another studio with actual Disney animators worked on it. But before you saw this just now, you thought the SNES version looked pretty good, didn't you? Right, so that's settled. How does it sound? Again, we're gonna have to reference the source material because that movie is also very well known for its music, and in that regard, it's mixed. So, Aladdin the film has 5 songs in it: Arabian Nights, One Jump Ahead, Friend Like Me, Prince Ali, and A Whole New World. Unfortunately, only 2 of these songs make it into the game. Arabian Nights is absent, but that song sucks, so who cares? One Jump Ahead should be the music of the first level, but we instead get this dollar store imitation. And Prince Ali, probably the most catchy song on the soundtrack, makes no appearance whatsoever. The 2 songs we do get are all here, and when I mean all here, I mean like the whole song is here from start to finish. Friend Like Me plays during the Genie level, of course, and you can sing along to all the "oh well looky here" parts and whatnot. A Whole New World appears in 2 different forms. A truncated version plays during the Magic Carpet stage, and we get the full song at the end of the game, but caveat, here's what it sounds like. Yeah, kinda takes the magic out of the moment if you picture Aladdin honking on a trombone instead. The other songs are unmemorable at best and suck at worst. There's a heck of a lot of cutscene music, but the showpieces are definitely the 2 songs we all know, and at least they chose those 2 songs since they're the ones that we all remember most. Sound effects really could have benefited from some vocal samples since the graphics do such a great job of adding personality. I'm not sure if there were legal loopholes to jump through, but even just a Robin Williams "yes" would have been nice. Ah well. Value time! So, just a heads up, Aladdin for the SNES isn't going to score high in this category. Yes, it does cost only $16, which is great, but when you consider that you can grab this game as part of the Disney Classic Games collection for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and Windows, then you might want to give the cart a pass. This collection is pretty sweet too, because it also includes The Lion King and The Jungle Book, as well as the Genesis version of Aladdin. There's also a Game Boy Advance port, but it's expensive, so don't bother. Another reason why this game ain't the best bang for your buck is how quick and easy it is to beat. Watching the actual Aladdin movie takes longer. I pity the parents who paid full price for this game only to have their kid finish it before dinner. This game is the reason game rentals existed, and chances are if you have a copy, it has a big ol' mess of video rental stickers on it. Yuck! But this ain't a beauty pageant, it's a game review, and with that being said, let's give this thing a score. 6.3 out of 10. On the surface, you'll see a nice looking game that gives fans of the movie what they want, but with such a short playtime, you're gonna wish you picked something a little more substantial. Have fun.